right? So what this 30 minutes or 45 minutes I'm going to do is basically to provide the overview of what business intelligence reporting is all about. So there are 4 layers. Okay, whenever we talk about data warehouse, there are only 4 layers. You have source system layer, you have ETL layer, you have storage layer, and you have reporting layer.
Yes.
Tomorrow the storage can become big data. We don't really mind. Tomorrow ETL, instead of SSIS, it can become MapReduce, or it can become Spark, or some other new language. It doesn't really matter, right? But conceptually, analytical platform consists of 4 layers. You have source layer, which will remain as a source forever, right? Then you have the data processing layer. So instead of they call it as ETL, they call it as data processing. Then after data processing, you store the data, which is data storage. After the storage, you go for reporting. Reporting are like 2 different types. One is basically what I call it as operational reporting, and the other one is called as analytical reporting. Like how you have OLTP, right? Online transaction processing, right? So similarly, OLAP stands for online analytical processing.
Yeah.
You have a question in the morning and you come to office and you solve that particular problem without anybody's help. If you have that platform for a business user, then we call that environment as OLAP environment. Okay, that's all. It's as simple as that. So that is why there are, now what is the difference between OLTP reporting and OLAP reporting? Why are we calling it as 2 different words? In your operational reporting, most of your format of a specific event is exactly the same. So let's repeat this. Suppose we get bill. Say you have AT&T billing phone. I have an AT&T bill, for example. Now, when you get a bill, when I get a bill, format is same.
Yes.
Right? Format is not different. But if you are a manager, if I am a manager in a same company, right, there is a way you would like to see your data, and I have my own way of looking at my data.
Yes.
Right? So here, OLTP reporting kind of an environment doesn't work. That is why they will see, then give that entire cube to my hand and let me take the information in a way I would like to see rather than how it is available in the database. That's the whole point of online analytical processing. You give the power to the end user. Let them pick and choose rather than we providing them a spoon feeding.
Got it.
You don't want to give them anything, right? Let them figure it out because they are intellectual people, and obviously, for explorers or what we call them as SME, subject matter experts, they are better in thinking than most of the technology guys, especially when it comes to business part of it.
Yes.
Okay, that's why you are trying to offload your. It's not offloading the IT work. It's more of you give. You take the data closer to the business guys. How you take the data closer to the business guys? Provide them a ease of access to your data what you have. But the problem with your data storage is it's very complex. Sometimes it's in third normal form. Sometimes it is in Snowflake. Sometimes in star schema, right? So for them, they don't understand any one of this.
Okay.
All they understand is dimensions and measures.
Yes.
Tell me what is the sales, where did I get from? Tell me the sales pattern from last 2.5 months. Tell me the sales pattern from last 1 week. Compare that with last year, the same week. Those are the kind of questions managers are typically looking answers for. Even when you are doing a reporting on the data warehouse, right? There are 2 types of end users you come across. One set of customers are called as consumers, meaning they don't do any kind of an analysis at all. They just look at your report and they're happy and they will take a decision and move on. Those are called as C-level executives, where they don't even have time to just click, do a drill down also. And there is another kind of end users who are basically what we call it as explorers. So there is a consumers and there are explorers. Explorers are basically your analyst community within your organization, where they got a business problem, and this guy sit and actually pull data from various perspectives, and they will try to find the answer for the question what they have from the business.
Okay.
Those are basically called as power users. You can call them as explorers, or you can also call them as power users, because you are giving the entire power to their hand to take a better decision.
Okay.
Okay, so I want you to understand what is OLAP, number one. Why do we create it? Number two, who are my end users?
Why do we create it is for the reporting purposes.
Yeah, say suppose if you run a company, your CEO, how much time he has to run a report?
I just want the report.
Not even a minute. Yeah. You won't even have a sometime minute, right? So he just doesn't want to come and sit with a business problem. You show what we call it as KPI-based dashboard. Right? What is KPI stands for? Key Performance Indicator.
Yeah.
So he has 20 indicators what he is looking for. Every manager for that matter has certain KPIs in their mind. You just show the score for that key performance indicators in the in the scale of 1 to 100 or 1 to 10 based on how they look at it. They don't have time to figure out why this is down. If they want to know why it is down, they will take a phone and say, please give me more details or explain it to me. Tell me a story why we went wrong. That's why nowadays every BA reporting company like Tableau, ClickView, Spotfire, what they say, we tell stories through data. Okay, so now a report is kind of a storytelling process.
To the business.
To the business, right? So that is why it is far from technology, but it is closer to the business folks. Okay, so now why did we build data warehouse? To get one version of truth, number one. All the data is in one place, number two. Number three is I can get the quick answers within minutes rather than days.
Yes.
How do you give the information within minutes and hours? You give data to them, let them figure it out, let them fish it. If you want to start creating a report, as a developer, what do you ask? Where is my requirement document? Who is my end user? What does he want? In what format what he wants? You will have 100 questions as a developer. Okay, then you will give me a project plan. Then to execute the project plan, there is a project manager. Then there is a rollout. Then there is UAT. Right? Then go to production. This is going to take minimum 15 to 20 days.
So the question I wanted to ask is the consumer and the explorer, the data they work directly onto the data warehouse on the data marts? We just give them directly the data marts?
Yeah, you give access to the data mart. We will talk about that. About that. Right now, I want you to understand the conceptual perspective.
Right.
Now, how do we implement the concept? We will talk about that.
Okay.
Okay, but I want you to understand why there is something called as OLAP and what is the purpose of it. Okay, and who is going to use it? Now, where does it sit on? It sits on your data warehousing data.
So, data warehouse itself is also OLTP?
No, that is a data storage for your data analysis platform. You can say data warehouse is nothing but an analysis platform. It is not an OLTP system.
Okay.
Right? It is not. It is part of analytical system. That's why I told you, your data warehouse consists of 4 layers. Okay, you have a source, you have an ETL, you have a database, and you have reporting. Right now I covered what is a source, what is an ETL, what is a data storage. Now I am trying to cover the last leg of data warehousing concepts, which is basically what we call it as online analytical process.
Okay.
Now as an ETL, you need to know where is my source and where is my target, in what format this data is coming in what format I have to load it to my data warehouse. But when you are an OLAP developer, you don't really worry about how to remove duplicate data, because that is taken care by somebody else. Now my entire worry will be what? How to understand my business user requirement and how to understand the data what I have it in a star schema or a snowflake or in a third normal form, and how to present the data to the consumer or explorer.
Okay.
That's what your business objects designers do. That's what your SSAS designers, they build cubes, right? They build cubes because they understand, okay, for this department, these are all the data they need at this level and with this hierarchy. That's why building SSAS cubes is a different role or a thought process you should have compared to your ETL person.
Got it.
You got what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it does. So now, when you really look, I hope I answered your question, right?
Yes,
but
yes,
I'll tell you how the architecture looks for OLAP and what are all the tools available in the market, and then that may give you a little bit more idea.
Okay.
Okay. So OLAP stands for Online Analytical Processing. There's another saying, right? I really like this dimension, so what do you call the definition? Viewing data in a multi-dimensional way.
Yes.
Right? So you have 2D, 3D movie, 5D, 6D, all of them are coming. The only difference is what? Your experience. But the storytelling is same, right? This report is also the same thought process right now. Before there used to be a printed report. Now they are looking a very colorful report. Tomorrow, I want with icons. The day after tomorrow, I want a movie to tell us a report. That's what report is all about, right? You tell a story. How do you tell a story?
Yeah.
Either you create an animation movie or you create a movie. Eventually, all of the reporting will be done using some kind of an animation technique. Right? So I wish. That's what I always say. I wish, but eventually somebody figure out how to fulfill that wish.
Yeah.
That's all it is. So OLAP is a component in data warehousing system. It is not. So you know what you asked. That question is not at all correct. You said, okay, then data warehouse is an operational system. No, not at all. Your OLTP systems are nothing but your enterprise ERP systems or homegrown systems which runs your business. Data warehouse doesn't run your business. It always helps you to analyze and optimize your business.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Why I asked that question was basically because, well, just from the abbreviation point of view, OLTP is the transactional processing system. So we store transactions in the database, in data marts. We capture each and every transaction. So,
but not for running the company.
Not
that
for
is mainly for analysis system.
Analysis. Yeah.
Yeah. So without data warehouse, your company can run its business. But without OLTP system, your company can't run.
No.
You can consider this as a repository to store all the different transactions in your businesses. That's acceptable. Right? But for what purpose? Analysis. That also has to matter. For the analysis.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
That's why you said the word, you were using the word data storage is the layer.
Yes, data storage is a layer in your system. It is not the system. Right? So now you have the OLAP. So now we talked about viewing data in a multi-dimensional way. I can see a sales number based on store and a period, or you can say store and a customer. So then you are looking at the same sales number based on two dimensions. One dimension becomes customer and the other dimension becomes your store. Now, whenever you are analyzing the data through multiple dimensions, we call it as multidimensional analysis.
Yes.
Okay, very simple concept. Don't complicate it. The technology, it sounds fancy. It sounds very, complex. But if you say group by customer, comma, store, and you do a sum of sales,
it's multidimensional.
then that is a typical example of multidimensional reporting or analysis.
Yeah.
Okay. So why do we create OLAP? One of the reasons we create OLAP is so that it becomes self-service. Slice and dice for your data warehousing data. Right? OLAP is a multi-dimensional way of storing or viewing the data. It can be either storage or it can be viewing. Currently in RDBMS, we store the data in two-dimensional only, which is rows and columns.
Yes.
It is not a multi-dimensional. But when you go to the cubes in SSAS, it becomes multi-dimensional.
So the data marts are RDBMS?
See, you can have, SSAS cubes you build, right? So there's a two, people usually call cubes in different ways. The star schema also can be considered as cubes in some companies. Whereas if you are a Microsoft shop, you have another layer called a SQL Server Analysis Services, where physically they build a cube.
Yes, that's what they do.
Okay, when they build that cube, that is not two-dimensional. Those are not tables inside that multi-dimensional database. It has a structure where it's like you can do slice and dice much faster than RDBMS. It is a multi-dimensional database.
Slice and dice means going into the different levels of the aggregations.
That's it. Think about like this. While I'm going through this presentation, you will get a little bit more idea. Slice and dice is basically slicing is applying a where clause. Say you have, you have last 5 years of sales records. I want to do transit-wise 2015 sales. So now I have 5 years of data for all the transits. Now I will say, give me all the sales for all the transits, right? Now you apply a where clause, where year equal to 2015. Now I took a can of data and I just kind of sliced the data what I'm looking for, which is only 2015. That is called as slicing. How do you do that in SQL? We use where clause.
Where clause.
Okay. Now I took the 2015 data, but I want to see it from a transit perspective. So if I have 40 transits, I want to see transit 1, 2015, what is my sales? Transit 2, 2015, what is my sales? Then I can give me top 3 and bottom 3. That's what analysis is, right? Finding the statistical information with your data and understand how the business runs. That's the whole point of analysis.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that you can actually do it with slice and dice. When you say slice, applying a where clause. What is a dice? You basically create a group by clauses on that sliced data. Think about like a Rubik's cube, right? Each one of the cube when you get is basically filled with one color. So there is green, there is red, there is orange, whatever.
Yeah.
Now each side of the cube consider it as a dimension. Now you can turn your cells however way you want, right? Okay, the intersection of these dimensions makes you a metric, which is nothing but a fact.
Yes.
That is also considered as slice and dice. I'll show you a little bit more graphically. You will be able to understand very easily.
Okay.
Okay, RDBMS is a two-dimensional way of storing and viewing the data, right? So RDBMS is not an OLAP, put it that way. RDBMS is a two-dimensional data, not a multi-dimensional data.
Multi-dimensional, okay.
Okay. Now there are three types of OLAPs available in the market. One is called as relational OLAP technology. The second one is multi-dimensional OLAP technology and hybrid OLAP technologies. Now when you say OLAP, basically what happens, you have relational OLAP, where the example for the relational OLAP is business object, MicroStrategy, Cognos, and so on and so forth. We have multi-dimensional OLAP, example MS OLAP, which is nothing but SSAS, Oracle S-Base, Cognos Cube. Okay, and in HOLAP, it's neither ROLAP nor MOLAP, but there is no tools available in the market for hybrid OLAP, but there is a concept exists out there which talks about hybrid OLAP.
So which has both relational and multidimensional?
It's kind of snowflake. Think about ROLAP is a third normal form, MOLAP is a star schema, and HOLAP is a snowflake. It has both advantages and disadvantages. This is the architecture diagram of ROLAP. So understand that. I don't care about ETL right now because I am talking more on the OLAP perspective, right? What does ROLAP stands for? Relational OLAP. When you say relational OLAP, the data is available in the form of relational RDBM, relational database management system. Okay, so now you have a data warehouse, data mart, ODS, keep whatever you want.
Okay.
Right? Now you will end up creating an application server, which is nothing but an application where you convert your data structure in a way that your end user can directly access that data through this layer. Okay, so now the good part is, even though you have so many columns in your data warehouse, tables in your data warehouse, based on the user role, you will actually take only certain dimensions and measures, and you create a layer here called as metadata layer. That's why it is called as BI metadata. So now if you are creating the engine for, if you are doing a sales analysis, then you take the star schema of the sales, then you show only that star schema where people can understand, okay, if I'm a sales guy, I know only sales schema, and I will show you only those related objects. So here what you have at this particular point in time is, you will see, just give me a second, I will show you another, just give me a second. I'll show you the business object slide, which may give you a little bit of idea. Just give me a sec, please.
So you took the direct flight or the stop one?
Which one?
There's a new flight started, right? Which no stop, direct to India.
Yeah, I'm going to direct to Mumbai.
So it's 16 hours, 14 hours?
I think 16 hours. This is the first time I'm flying like that. So. Okay, take a look at this picture. This is the architecture diagram of ROLAP, relational OLAP.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have on the right side is basically your data warehouse database.
Star schema there.
Anything, right? Star, snowflake, third normal form, it doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
Now take the metadata of that database,
Mm-hmm.
which is nothing but your tables and relationships, what you see here, which is a logical model, right? Based on these tables and columns, you create objects.
Mm-hmm.
It says purchase order, inventory, materials, employees, projects, customers, so on and so forth. All of these are the objects you do. You build based on this model. That's what that application does.
Mm-hmm.
Business objects, Cognos, SSAs. Or did you ever work on building one simple cube?
No, I really wanted to, but I never.
You should do that. I think I have one video. Maybe I'll upload it to the YouTube, and you can just take a look at it.
Sure.
So that you see the process, okay, how people will build that cube. So now what here you do is you build that particular object, then the end user will actually come through the query panel and he will say, okay, give me this customer name, where they purchase tickets in transit for. So all they do is when you run that query, it will hit, okay, where am I getting this data from? From this object. Okay, so now if this is the object you want, it will build this query. And once it builds the query, it goes to the database and it pulls the data back to your screen.
So that means cubes itself have the data or don't? They don't have the data.
So that is based on whether you are using ROLAP or MOLAP. If you are using SSAS, then you will have the data. If you are using business objects, if you are using SSRS, for example, right? Your SSRS doesn't have the data. So if you are using SSRS, then it is called as ROLAP. If you are using SSAS cubes like this, then it is called as MOLAP.
They hold the data.
Yes. It holds the data for you. So now if you really look at it, when a report is executed by the end user, the actual data is retrieved from the MOLAP cubes itself. This way, it retrieves by using, the way it retrieves by using MDX query, multidimensional expression. Okay, so SQL is used to get the data from RDBMS. MDX is used to get the data from MOLAP. Okay, so now if you really look at it, here you will have the data, you get it from this database. Whereas when it comes to this, you're going to have the data in the cube. But only problem is if there is any change in your data warehouse that doesn't get reflected in your cube automatically, you should do a refresh.
Yeah, we have the jobs to refresh the cubes. The moment the data mart is loaded, and then after that, there's an automatic call to the different job to refresh the cube.
That's all right. So you can do a refresh the cube from your ETL package itself.
Yes, either ETL or we do it from the SQL agent jobs.
Yeah, so that's all it is. So now that's the difference between ROLAP and MOLAP. Is it making sense?
So yes, it definitely makes sense. So the MOLAP or the for the ROLAP, we don't have to refresh those things because eventually we are directly getting the data from the data warehouse.
Yes.
And in the MOLAP, we need to refresh them to load the new data, which came into the data warehouse.
That's it. Okay, so your ROLAP is, data is available in RDBMS, it's always live. Whereas in MOLAP, it's not always live. You can actually store the data, right, in a periodical manner. So weekly analysis, if you are doing, then I don't need to really do much on the RDBMS. Once on a Sunday, you refresh your cube, and for the next one cube, you don't need to worry about that.
So they have the current data only, or let's say we are talking about weekly, they will have all the historical data, or they will have just the current week of data, or business
all the
definition.
Historical data. No, all the historical data, even in the cube, because It's very imperative for you to have all the data as much as possible in the cube so that you can do analysis. Right. So again, you can, when I was working in in one of my old employers, so basically we remember, they requested, we don't need more than 3.5 years worth of data. That's almost like 15 quarters of data. So you may have, if you go to the cube, you may have 10 years of data in your data warehouse, but in the cube, they just want only 15 quarters of data.
Rajesh, would it be possible for you to just show me a one cube buildup, small?
I don't have that software on this particular machine, but that's what I'm telling you. No, what I'll do, because, either when Aditya was kind of showing it to you, I will request him to show how to build one cube, or I have the recorded material, how I created a cube. It takes only like, you just listen to that first. Then you will be able to create one cube on your own. If time permits, I will go ahead and do it. Otherwise, I will upload a YouTube link and I will send it to you.
No, you told me you teach SSAS and RS also.
Not right now, because there's too much going on in my life. Yeah.
When you come back.
Yes, I do.
When you come back. Because let me continue learning from you. I don't mind paying for that, but there should be a continuous in touch with you. So I'll keep on going learning those things.
You can learn. Once I'm coming back, then we can always get in touch with you and see how best we can do, because the cubes what I used to teach is like 2000 and 2006. Right now you're in 2012, so there's a lot of learning curve which I have to do so that I can teach.
So
I don't have
you can
time
find some person like Aditya is SSIS, so there must be somebody there for the SSRS and SSIS.
No, yeah, he can take care of your SSIS and SSAS needs.
So then it is fine. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So let's go one step at a time.
Yeah.
Let's close this and then open up with ETL, then reporting and SSAS. So then you become a complete MSBA professional.
That's what I want.
Sure, no problem. Okay, so when it comes to OLAP functionality, right, there are 4 things you have to really understand. Okay, if you understand these 4 things, then that's what OLAP is all about. Okay, so you have drill down, drill up, drill through, drill across. Okay, now this basically helps you to analyze the data better. Okay, you know the difference between what is static report and ad hoc report?
Static report where you don't have any filter to choose, and you can just have the one view of the data there. Right? And then ad hoc report is being that when but it's the same. Ad hoc is also that you've been asked, the user asked you to build report on a particular filter, and the same filter will be there for that ad hoc report.
Okay, put it this way, right? So it's a little bit different. Ad hoc report is where you don't have a report but you want to create one right now.
Yes.
Static report is the report is already there, and you have to just run the report by filling the blanks, which is nothing but your prompts in SSRS.
Filters that we provide. Yeah.
Okay, so assume that you have to, you have 20 reports. 20 reports are not helping you to get your job done today. So what you do is you create another report. That report is called as ad hoc report. And that can be done only with OLAP functionality.
Okay.
Not on operational functionality.
Operations are static always?
Operations are always static. Okay, you can't dynamically, that's why when you go and come out with a new request to your, bank, they will say, sorry, sir, we can't do it. Because it's already system defined in every possible way. So there is nothing called as an ad hoc in operations.
So we can say that those are the built-in reports already available in the operation system.
Or analytical system for that matter is called a static report. The one you are dynamic, you are creating one right now based on a requirement. Say, assume this way, right? You have a sales and marketing head for your entire company. Okay, it's a worldwide company. He says, okay, I'm going to Middle East, I'm going to Saudi Arabia, and I want to find out top 3 customers we have in Saudi Arabia. Right? Because I have one day, I am available there and I want to meet these 3 customers. Now you don't have that report in hand right now.
Yeah. On the fly.
You create one. Right? On the fly you create one. So all you do is you go to the system, say customer ID, customer name, contact, address, blah, 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 where you will say where country equal to Saudi Arabia. So you get all of this particular list of customers in Saudi Arabia. Then you click on top 3 as an option, then you get the top 3, then you take a printout, give it to him, he is happy, and he moves on. Right? You don't need to really think about what is the query you are supposed to write. You have to think about what to do, a drag and drop.
So you just generate that and you don't save those reports.
If you want, you can save it.
You can.
Yeah. So an ad hoc of today becomes tomorrow's static report. That's the rule. Okay, let me put it the other way. The unknown question of today becomes known question tomorrow.
Yes. Yes.
So it's the same concept. An ad hoc report becomes a static report tomorrow if you save it.
Exactly. Yes, that makes perfect sense.
Okay. So that's all it is. So you have it drill down. So that is one option. Drill down is go from hierarchy top to bottom. Drill up from bottom to up. Drill through and drill across. In order to explain this, I just put a star schema here. I have 2 star schemas. One is basically product dimension, sales fact, time and customer. This is 1 star schema. Assume there is no web click fact. Then you have 1 star schema, right? Now, on the right hand side, you have a web click fact. Okay, so now I have 2 fact tables connected with 3 dimensions. And your time dimension and customer dimension is called as confirmed dimension because it is associated with both the facts.
Yes.
And you have a product dimension that is also associated only with sales fact. Still, you can consider it as a confirmed dimension. The moment it looks up to another, it links to another fact table.
Fact table. Yeah.
When you say drill down, you take an example of customer dimension. You are saying, okay, show me state level. So state, from state to city to customer to an account. That is a drill down. Drill up is from customer you go to state. Customer then collapse. It will go to city, then collapse the city, then it will go to the state.
Yeah.
Drill through is I want to find out all the people who are from New York, what kind of product they are buying. So now you take all the customers, right, where city equal to New York. So you got all of your customers. Now go through the dimension and see what are all the products you are selling, or you can say what are all the products these customers are buying. So how do you do that? You go through the sales fact to land up in products. That's basically you join the sales fact with product dimension, right? That is called as drill through. Right? You start with customer dimension, but you ended up in product dimension. But drill through happens within a star schema. Okay, now the 4th one is crucial, is drill across. Now I have a city column in customer dimension. I want to see city wise how much of sales happen. Very simple. Drag and drop the city from your customer dimension. and drag and drop your sales amount from sales fact.
Joined by the keys there. Yeah.
Right, joined by the keys, and it's automatic because that's what OLAP does. You predefine all of the keys.
No, so you don't write the queries, you just drag and
You
drop
don't
there.
write the query at all. If you write the query, then it becomes operational reporting.
Oh, okay. Okay. Actually, I never visualized. That's why I was asking you.
Okay, maybe give me 5 minutes, then I can log into business object environment. But I'll just see what I can do so that you can get that feel for sure.
Sure.
Okay, so then what you do is take the same customer, but I want the web click fact. So how much of web click happens in the New York City, and what is my sale? Similarly, I can see, okay, tell me Dallas, compare New York to Dallas and see how much of sales happens in Dallas and how much of web click is available in Dallas.
So we are touching
So
two
what
facts
happens?
then.
Two fact tables, right? So when you are taking measures from multiple fact tables against one dimension, it is called as a drill across concept. I am going across the star schemas to get the data.
So that cube will have both or it will be both the fact
It
tables.
can be two, yeah. In latest SSAS, you can have two fact tables in one cube. In the old cubes, what we have, we cannot have that. So what we had was two physical cubes for each one of the star schema. Then we had a virtual cube where we merged two dimensions, two cubes together. So that's how we used to. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm pausing. One question, just from the back, it came that. So when we build the cubes on a real-time environment, is the views being normally provided to access the data marts, or no, they directly access the data mart? What is the best way?
See, it's about if your data mart is not going to change at all, then directly giving access to the tables is good from a performance perspective. But tomorrow, think that you are changing the tables quite frequently.
Okay.
Then it is always better to expose the data through views.
Because in our system, just to share with you, there is a separate data mart we have, which is called as the EDW views, Enterprise Data Warehouse Views. So in that they have views for any analytical processing. Any person who needs the access to any kind of a data, there will be a view built up as per the permission, as per their security to access that.
Yeah, then it becomes very controlled environment. Otherwise, everybody accesses everything. You don't have a control over our environment.
Okay. Okay. Sorry,
So
just off the topic.
View gives you more functionality and it gives you more power, right, to control things better.
You mentioned one point in the start also that the more the layer you have, more flexibility and more control you have.
Oh yes, always. I'm telling you, right? People always say, okay, layer should be less. Yeah, it is good if there is no complexity. The more the complexity you have, you better have more placeholders for you.
Because somebody wants a complete data set from the two different data marts, rather than giving him the access for the two data marts, tell me what you want, I can build a view for you.
Yeah, because from the business perspective you look at, they don't want to be associated themselves as a technology guy. Right? So how do you make sure things are very easy to handle business as well as data? A view is a better option than the table.
Okay.
Because table is physical, view is logical. Logically, I can think very different way, but physically it is not possible. You close your eyes, you dream. That's logical. Right? And you can do that very easily. But, I want to become a millionaire. Right? That's logical. You can close your eyes and think, but physically, you have to go to the bank account and see how much you have.
So on the analytical part, it is good to have the schema bounded views or non-schema bounded views.
It doesn't really matter. It's up to your account. For me, for logically, you think about a view. A schema binding, not binding, it's up to you how your team is implementing it.
Okay.
Right? But eventually, when there is a table change, you usually have to recompile your view.
Yes. Otherwise, that change won't affect there.
Yeah, then what is the point? There are certain things we just don't really understand, but still there.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so that is what you drill down, drill up, drill through, and drill across. And these four things is what makes your OLAP a different beast altogether. Okay. So if somebody says what is OLAP, you can do drill down, drill up, drill through, drill across. If you can provide that functionality through your tool, you're done.
Yeah, a drill across, this is first time I'm hearing. I never heard the drill across. Drill through I heard, but not the drill across.
Drill across connecting two different star schemas.
Right. Two different star schemas.
Okay. So now you know the architecture of MOLAP. Take the data from your data warehouse. You have SQL Server analysis services. Create your views. Define your hierarchies. Define your joins between the views and tables. Then you process your cube. And to process the cube physically, it becomes an object. Now you expose these cubes through SSRS or through Excel or through many other reporting.
Power BI?
Yeah, Power BI also can look at the cubes. Okay, so that's how your MOLAP is all about. Right? So any questions here?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Actually, my time is also coming now.
Okay, so we will stop, or we can continue.
If you can, you were telling me that you can show me that business object.
Okay, so then what I'll do, I will just stop this particular recording right now, so that then I can't show that. I can't record that because it's.
That's okay. It's okay.
Client specific. Okay.
No. I agree. I completely agree. That's a data.
I'm just stopping this.